won't be before you long. You may all be seated initially. Because the Lord is my shepherd.
All right.
I have everything I need.
Come on.
He lets me rest in the meadow's grass. And he leads me beside the quiet stream. He restores my failing health. And he helps me to do what honors him the most. That's why I'm saved. That's why I'm saved. That's why I'm saved. In his arms. Because the Lord is my shepherd. I have everything I need. He lets me rest in the meadow's grass, and he leads me beside the quiet stream.
Come on.
He restores my failing health, and he helps me to do what honors him the most. That's why I'm saved. That's why I'm saved. That's why I'm saved. Saved in his arms. When the storm, when the storms of chapter 10. Again, that's Luke chapter 10. We're going to read verses 38 to 42.
All right.
Luke chapter 10, verses 38 to 42. Now it came to pass, as they went, that he entered into a certain village, and a certain woman named Martha received him into her house.
All right.
And she had a sister called Mary, which also sat at Jesus' feet and heard his word. But Martha was cumbered about much serving, and came to him and said, Lord, dost thou not care about that my sister hath left me to serve alone? Bid her therefore that she help me. And Jesus answered and said unto her, Martha, Martha, thou art careful and troubled about many things, but one thing is needful, and Mary hath chosen that good part, which shall not be taken away from her. Amen. You may take your seats. And we'll be talking today. Don't miss the moment.
All right. All right. All right. All right.
Don't miss the moment.
All right.
So at some point in time, we have planned for a big meal or a feast, a trip, an event, or a special occasion. Hey, we just missed one, all right? We get all excited and anxious, scurrying about, making the arrangements, making sure to dot every I and cross every T. And even though we know it may not be perfect, we make every effort to get as close to perfect as possible. Then the big day arrives, and we're so busy making sure that things are perfect that we miss the moment. If we happen to have the event recorded or take pictures, we may even look back and say, man, I don't remember that. Did I do that? I don't remember that. Why? Because we have missed the moment. We just celebrated Thanksgiving. I bet many of us spent many hours cooking, cleaning, getting ready to spend time with the family, that we missed the time with the family. We missed out on meaningful conversations where someone needed to connect with us. Some of us were so ready to dig into all that good food that we even missed the time of communion during the family prayer. Others of us were so set on achieving our own agenda, calling somebody out, I'm gonna get them straight, set the record straight, that we sabotaged everything, turning a time of joy and laughter into sorrow, anger, and fighting. Totally missing the moment of unity and fellowship, thereby missing the chance to be a witness for Christ. So here we enter this story with two sisters, Mary and Martha. And they have opened their home up to Jesus and the disciples. Now this was not unusual, as Jesus was known to visit Mary and Martha frequently during his ministry, because they, along with their brother Lazarus, were Jesus' close friends. And we know that Jesus loved these three because in John 11, when Lazarus died and Jesus saw the sisters weeping, he also wept. That's a sign of love, y'all. Amen. So there was a very close relationship with these ladies. And although they are close friends, Jesus is still no ordinary or common guest. And things have to be done to make sure that the visit is right. This is Jesus, by the way. Now, y'all know how we do when we have company coming. We trying to tidy it up, make sure things right, so we can entertain, it goes well. Men, y'all not exempt. Y'all may not do it once y'all get married, but y'all know when y'all were dating and your boots stopped out, you were running trying to straighten things up too. So this may have been a full house because it could have been Jesus and the disciples. We're not sure because verse 38 says, as they, which was Jesus and the disciples, entered into a village, Martha received him into her house. So we're not sure if the disciples came with them or not. But either way, at any rate, there was a lot of work to do. Either because, again, there was a lot of people, or there was one very special guest. Initially, both Mary and Martha are busy getting things right and serving. I think sometimes we hear the story and we think Martha was doing it all. But it says that Mary and Martha were busy. But at some point, while Jesus is speaking, Mary decides to sit down, to listen, fully receiving the message. Now, Martha hadn't missed a beat. She's still running back and forth serving the food. I'm sure she's watching Mary sitting there while she's working, and she's working herself up. Can't you picture it? Wait a minute. Okay, she's sitting. She goes again. Girl, she's still. Wait a minute. That last time. Oh, wait a minute. I know she's not still sitting when I'm doing all this work. So I'm sure that by this time, her focus is surely not on what Jesus is talking about. It is on her sister's inactivity. The New International Version translates verse 40, but Martha was distracted by all the preparations that had to be made. Now, we don't know how long she was working and troubling herself, missing out on the chance to fully listen to Jesus, learn from Jesus, and commune with Jesus before she decided to speak up. But I'm sure that by this time she is hot, physically and emotionally.
Yes.
Verse 40 goes on to say that she goes to Jesus and asks, Lord, don't you care that my sister has left me to do all this work by myself? Now, it was traditionally customary for the women to do the working and the serving. Again, not too unusual from what we do today.
All right.
Am I right? But when there was someone teaching back then, the sitting, listening, and learning was usually done by the men. So not only was Mary not helping, she breaking the rules. She's sitting there with the men learning. I'm sure that Martha thought that Jesus was really going to make Mary get up and help. Instead, it seems that Jesus realized that something he said had piqued Mary's interest enough that she had to stop what she was doing to hear more. It actually appears that Mary may have multitasked a little bit better than Martha, and that while she was waiting on the people, serving, she was listening to Christ. Don't miss the moment. Are we so distracted by the busyness of church, like Martha, that we miss being like Mary and hearing from God? Are we so busy trying to get to the church that we miss being the church? Are we so tied up in what I am doing that I miss what I need to do? Are we so busy trying to be politically correct that we miss being effective witnesses? So I have a story. 4 years ago, my dad died. And being the eldest, responsible for setting everything up, arranging everything, paying for everything. So I had the final say so of what we were going to do. So I made the decision. I have 5 siblings. Again, being the eldest, out of us 5, we all lived as we were married, though we were married. But only 2 of us were actually married. So I said, if you're not married, you can't come in and sit with the family. Sit with everybody else to show your love for Dad, but then be with your love for afterwards. So needless to say, it was not very popular decision. My knee baby brother, the one next to, they say because your knee baby next to the baby, just called me 4 years later. He just got married 6 months ago. He said, sis, I just want to call you to tell you this. If nobody else has told you, you were right. He said, unless you're married, you don't understand the significance of living right. And I just want to let you know that you are confirmed in what you said. So I could have missed the moment to do the right thing, to be politically correct, but I'm glad I stood on what God said and I made the right choice. So I did not miss the moment to be an effective witness. So don't miss the moment. In verse 41, Jesus says her name twice. Martha, Martha. He wants to make sure he has her attention for this message. You are worried about all of this stuff, but there is really only one thing you need to concern yourself with. And Mary has chosen that. because she has chosen, I'm not going to take it away from her. Don't miss the moment. He didn't call Martha out for doing the work, but we can see that she was doing too much and had put too much stress on herself. Wanting the gathering to be as great as the guest, she had missed the moment of identifying that the work and service that she had done was sufficient for Jesus. She missed the moment of identifying that she had the same opportunity to sit and listen to the good news just like Mary did. She had concerned herself with the many things of human care and strife, people pleasing, and missed the one thing which is of supremest moment, the kingdom of God. God pleasing.
Yes.
Now that was not Martha's intent. She just got so caught up in her own activities that she could not give her thoughts to Christ. So let's not get it twisted. The teaching here is not don't work. The scriptures teach that we are to work.
That's right.
Colossians 3:23 says, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord, not the human masters.
You better say it.
Proverbs 12:24 says, diligent hands will rule, but laziness ends in forced labor. Proverbs 6:13 says, commit to the Lord whatever you do, and he will establish your plan.
Right.
So Jesus is not saying not to work.
No.
He just wants us to keep that work in perspective.
Right.
And not put our earthly plans and ideas of going seeking the kingdom of God.
Yes.
Living a life that is always receiving and not working and serving others and not being active in ministry is selfish and not pleasing to God.
Yes. Right. Yes.
But you can't work so hard that you get irritated and stressed that you miss the peace of God.
Yes.
We need to have a little Mary and a little Martha
I
for
like
each of
that.
us.
All right.
We need to be welcoming and willing to serve.
That's right.
But we also need to know when we need to be still and receive.
Yes. Right.
If you find yourself getting a little irritated and complaining about your service, that's a clue. You need to sit down and listen.
That's right.
All right. I'm talking to myself, y'all. I need to sit down and listen sometimes. As we enter this Christmas season, let's not get so caught up in the commercialization, hustle and bustle, that we forget the reason for the season.
Yes.
Many people are depressed, hurting, and lost during this time. Don't miss the moment to be an effective witness.
Right.
Don't miss the moment to stand for what is right when it goes against the norm. If you haven't given your life to Christ, you've been on the fence, don't miss the moment to give your life. Don't miss the moment to spread the gospel of God's special gift, Jesus Christ, the man from Galilee that came to save you and me. Don't miss the moment to acknowledge that he is your burden bearer, your heavy load sharer, your Prince of Peace, your King of Kings, your Lord of Lords. Don't miss the moment. Don't miss the moment to remember the price that Jesus paid on Calvary. They hung him high. They stretched him wide. He hung his head for us and he died. Don't miss the moment. Don't miss the moment to remember that he didn't stay in the grave, but 3 days later he rose again. Don't miss the moment. Don't miss the moment to remember that he sits on the right hand of God and is coming back again. All power in his hand. Don't miss the moment. Don't miss the moment to learn all that we can in order to do all that we can to be ready for Jesus' return. Don't miss the moment. Don't miss the moment to give your praise and your worship. Don't be worried about what somebody else is looking at. Again, people pleasing. We have to do what we have to do for God. Don't miss the moment. I don't know about y'all, but it's been a lesson for me. Don't miss the moment. Don't get so caught up in your activities, in your busyness, that you forget about God. Don't miss the moment.
Come on, Don't miss the moment. Don't miss the moment when God is in this place. Amen, somebody. Tell somebody, don't miss the moment. Let me tell you what you were saying. Don't miss the moment by looking at the wrong thing. Come on, somebody. If you were so focused on the messenger and not the message, you missed the moment. Come on, somebody. So it's time for us to realize we're here for a purpose. That is to give glory to God. Thank you, Reverend Johnson, for such a wonderful message. Come on, y'all. Let's give God some praise. I know a lot of y'all this weekend, I spent a whole Thanksgiving holidays getting mad because the dressing wasn't right, this wasn't right, instead of focusing on the fact that you were there together with your loved one. And when you're there with your loved one, that's the main priority. Because where there's family, God is in the midst. Come on, somebody. Don't miss the moment. That was for me as well. Ain't that right, First Lady? God bless you. God keep you. And so we come down to this part where somebody who don't want to miss an opportunity and miss their moment as we open the doors of the church and extend the invitation to come and give your life to Christ.